Police officer finds starving girl in an abandoned lot. What he sees makes him break down. It was a cold night when Officer Daniel's flashlight caught something strange. In the corner of an abandoned lot, a small figure, barely moving. As he stepped closer, the beam revealed a little girl no older than 7, shivering and clutching an old teddy bear. Her clothes were torn, her face pale, and her eyes filled with a haunting emptiness that no child should ever have. Daniel's instincts kicked in. This wasn't just another call. But when he gently lifted her, she whispered something that made his heart stop. The words were weak but clear. "Daddy said you'd come." Those 7 words sent chills down his spine and opened a mystery that would soon turn his world upside down. Because the truth about this little girl would connect to a case that had haunted him for years. Officer Daniel was nearing the end of his shift. The night had been quiet to quiet. He drove past a row of old warehouses when dispatch reported strange noises in an abandoned lot nearby. Usually, such calls turned out to be stray animals or teenagers. But this time, something felt different. As Daniel stepped out of his car, the sound of a whimper stopped him cold. He shined his flashlight and saw the small figure huddled against a broken fence. "Hey there," he said softly, kneeling down. The girl didn't respond, just stared blankly at him. He noticed bruises on her arms and her tiny hands were trembling from the cold. Daniel took off his jacket and wrapped it around her. "You're safe now," he whispered, lifting her gently. That's when she spoke for the first time. "Daddy said you'd come." The words hit Daniel like a thunderbolt. Daddy, he didn't know her, or did he? Her face, something about her eyes seemed painfully familiar. He radioed for backup and drove her straight to the hospital. At there, the doctors rushed to stabilize her. Malnutrition, dehydration, and signs of long-term abuse. Daniel clenched his fists. Whoever did this would pay. But as the nurse cleaned the dirt from the girl's hands, Daniel noticed a small bracelet. A simple leather strap engraved with initials, LD. His heart dropped. Those were the same initials as his late daughter, Lily Dawson, who'd gone missing 3 years ago. "No," he whispered, shaking his head. "It can't be." But the resemblance was undeniable. The past, the pain, the sleepless nights, all came flooding back. And for the first time in years, Daniel felt hope. And fear. DNA tests confirmed the impossible. The girl was Lily. She was alive. For 3 years. Daniel had believed she was gone forever after a car crash that supposedly killed both her and his wife. But someone had staged the accident. Daniel met with Detective Harris, his old partner. "Whoever took her knew every detail of your life," Harris said grimly. "This was personal." Lily began to speak slowly over days of therapy. Between tears and fear, she told fragments of her story. A man with gloves who took her from the car that night, saying her daddy would find her when it was time. Daniel's blood ran cold. That phrase again, "Daddy said you'd come." Someone had been watching him, waiting. With Harris's help, Daniel retraced the investigation. CCTV from that night had missing frames. A traffic officer who worked the scene back then had mysteriously resigned and vanished one night. Daniel sat beside Lily as she slept. He looked at her tiny hand clutching his finger and tears filled his eyes. "I failed you once," he whispered. "Never again." The next morning, he followed a lead to an old farmhouse 30 miles away. The property was linked to a man named Victor Crane, a former police informant with ties to Daniel's old cases. Daniel and Harris raided the house, and what they found in the basement made their blood freeze. Children's toys, photographs, and a wall covered in pictures of Daniel and his family. Someone had been stalking them long before the crash. Victor Crane was captured after a tense standoff. During interrogation, his twisted motive became clear years ago. Daniel's investigation had led to Victor's brother's arrest. Victor wanted revenge, to make Daniel feel the pain of loss. But Lily was never supposed to die. She was meant to be hidden forever. As Daniel listened, fury burned inside him. But when he looked at Lily, fragile, innocent, he knew vengeance wouldn't heal them. Justice had to. Crane was sentenced to life without parole. And Daniel, though still haunted, began to rebuild. Therapy sessions helped Lily slowly rediscover her childhood. Every night, she asked her father to tell her a bedtime story, something normal, something warm. One evening, as Daniel tucked her in, she asked, "Daddy, are you happy now?" He smiled through tears. "I am, sweetheart. Because you came home." The city honored Daniel for his courage. But the real reward was the tiny hand that held his every morning. A reminder that even in the darkest places, hope survives. If this story touched your heart, share it to remind others that no act of love or persistence is ever wasted. Subscribe to Kindness and Emotion for more real, powerful stories that prove one thing: humanity still exists, even in the darkest corners.